The increased police and fire department service that it will need. So it's very important that that be considered. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to Hilo. Hilo, sorry, I didn't check in on you earlier. How many testifiers do we have in Hilo?
Okay, Mr. Chair, we have one testifier here. We have Corey Harding representing.
I looked out of the corner of my eye.
Waimea, your speaker's on. Waimea. Okay, Mr. Chair, we have Corey Harding here representing the Sierra Club Mokuloa Group speaking on Bill 25, Communication 73.
Very good. Ms. Harding, may we begin?
Yeah, hello. Commenting on Bill 25 regarding ag tourism for Sierra Club Mokuloa Group. Appreciate you guys keeping up the work on ag tourism. As you know, the original Ag Tourism Bill 266 comes before Council tomorrow. It's our understanding that some amendments we want for Bill 266 cannot be added at this point because of Council rules. So we hope Council members can figure out a way to get some final bill with some number that focuses on growing more food here on our island and protecting neighbors from ag tourism impacts. We urge that the final bill include the following. From Bill 25, we like the definition for non-ag related uses. From Bill 266, we like pretty much everything in the draft 6 we received from Ms. Ford yesterday. And other ideas, we'd like to see a broader title for the bill to allow necessary amendments, a requirement that the ag tourism operator be the owner, operator, or occupant of the farm to keep local control, strong protections for special places, more than just the no four-wheel drive thing, limits on property size and limits on number of operations in one neighborhood to reduce impacts, requirement for plan approval for minor as well as major ag products processing facilities, requiring a completed or accepted application, not just an application, within 6 months if a visitor count rises. We'd like to see fewer visitors allowed in a single day, perhaps a certain number of visitors per acre. We'd like to see per day limits for visitors and vehicles, not by week or year, so they can't all come on one day. Adequate smoke detectors and exits in buildings visitors use. Requirement for general liability and product liability insurance. Ways for neighbors to raise concerns about ongoing operations and sufficient fees to fund enforcement. So thank you for your continuing work on this.
Thank you very much. Back here in Kona, calling up BJ Leadhead Todd in relation Bill 25.
Is this on?
Yep.
Okay. In light of some of the comments made about the bill, I thought I would come and clarify. This was not a top-down bill from the planning department. This bill was drafted at the request of farmers who came to the department and asked us to take a look at ag tourism. The current law was passed back in the prior administration, I think back in 2008. It has a maximum of 30,000 visitors a year. There is nothing that differentiates the size of the operations, nothing that has a per week or a per day count. So I met with HATA, which is the Hawaii Association of Hawaii Agricultural Tourism Association, several times over a 2-year period, including teleconferences with farmers throughout the state. I also met with Hawaii County's Agricultural Advisory Committee on several occasions to run drafts through them and get their feedback on the bill. So the bill that was sent to you and went through the Planning Commission was the result of 2 years of work with farmers through both HATA and the Agricultural Advisory Group. When I looked at it, the recommendation I had made was that currently the law just has a maximum of 30,000. And I thought, what if we make a differentiation between smaller operations and larger operations. And then on the smaller operations, have something that we have like a per month or a per week count, and also on the smaller operations, have a restriction on what types of vehicles could go to those operations. None of those restrictions are in the current county code. There's no restriction that says that you have to have a 15-passenger van. There's no differentiation between minor or major ag tourism. And all of this comes about because the state legislature made agricultural tourism a permitted use on land that's classified agriculture. So we enacted a law in 2008. This was an attempt to fine-tune that, to add additional restrictions and to try and differentiate between minor and major. I think that if you're going to go forward and take another look at this, that you should at least
Please summarize.
Send it to HATA and the Agricultural Advisory Committee, since they were the ones that actually asked for this bill in the first place.
Point of order.
Yes, Ms. Willie.
Yeah, I would like to request if she has a few more minutes of comments to be given a little additional time.
I won't do that in the public testimony part of it because it's 3 minutes, but what we can do is when that communication comes up,
okay,
we can bring her back up and ask questions about that. Thank you. Let's see if anybody else is out there to testify. Pahoa, is anybody there? Still nobody?
No, sir.
Okay. Waimea?
No, sir.
Thank you. Ka'u?
No, Chair. There's no testifiers here.
Thank you. Hilo, anybody else?
No, Mr. Chair, we have no one else.
And is there anybody else here that would like to testify? Okay, seeing none, the public testimony portion of this is done. Moving on to referrals. Madam Clerk, will you please read in the first communication, communication 66?
Amends Chapter 25 Zoning Code of the Hawaii County Code 1983, 2005 edition as amended, relating to agricultural tourism. From Council Member Zendo Kern, dated January 7, 2013, transmitting the above bill. Proposed bill was specifically amend sections 25-1-5, parenthesis B, 25-2-71, 25-2-75, 25-2-76, and 25-4-15 relating to definitions, plan approval requirements, and use regulations respectively pertaining to agricultural tourism. The bill adds and clarifies definitions and types of use for major and minor agricultural tourism activities and sets forth specific regulations for each.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. May I have a motion to close communication on, close file on communication 73 and approve Bill 25? For a second. It's got a motion from Councilmember. Madam Clerk?
I believe the motion is to refer to the Planning Commission.
That's what it would be? Okay, can I get a motion to, I'd like to withdraw, or no, excuse me. Councilmember Nishi, will you withdraw your motion? Very good, thank you. May I have a motion to close file on communication 73 and refer to the planning commissions?
I'm sorry, Chair Kern. It's just a motion to refer to the Planning Commission.
Wish somebody would have wrote that on my little agenda over here. Thank you. Can I get a motion for that? Very good. We have a motion from Councilmember Onishi. We have a second from Councilmember Yoshimoto. At this point in time, I'd like to relinquish my chairmanship to my Vice Chair, Ms. Willie. Ms. Willie, you are the, you can stay where you are.
So we open for referral, or what do I? Okay. Yes, okay, I assume the chair. Margaret Willie.
Thank you. Ms. Willie?
Okay, so open for discussion.
Yeah, and I'd like to lead that off. Thank you. We talked about this a lot at the last meeting that we were in, relating to Bill 266. At this point in time, I would like to make a motion to defer to the call of the chair for two different reasons. I'm still working on compiling amendments, going through all the different variations of drafts and public comment. I'd also like to have Hata chime in, as well as the Agriculture Advisory Commission. Furthermore, I think I'd like to see Ms. Poindexter involved in this process, and she also represents an area of major agricultural activity. So with that, it gives more time for the amendments to be worked on and to get some further input. So I'd like to move to defer this to the call of the chair.
Second.
We have further discussion.
Point of order before we go on. Madam Chair. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the proper motion is motion to postpone. I don't think we have defer in our...
Okay, I'd like to move to postpone.
Second.
Thank you.
Open to discussion. Ms. Ford?
Thank you. I actually wanted to talk to the bill, speak to the bill and another communication before we postpone this, and I can't do that with this particular postponement on the floor. So I would respectfully request that the motion be withdrawn. Let us talk about this bill a little bit, and then the motion can be remade to postpone.
Okay. Will you withdraw to allow for discussion?
No. I think we had plenty of discussion. I think let's bring the amendments up and let's discuss it at that point in time.
Councilmember Kanuha, would you like to make a comment on that?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment about the postponement to the call of the chair. Is the call of the chair, are you going to mean the next meeting or whenever? Because I have a issue with the call of the chair being, it could be the call of the chair 2 years from now or a year and a half. I'd rather have a set date so that we can completely understand when the chair is going to bring this particular bill back up.
Then I would say no later than our next Kona meeting. So we have our next meetings in Hilo and then the Kona one.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, yes, Ms. Ford.
Thank you. Well, I was planning to vote to move this over to the Planning Commission despite my reservations, but now I will not be. I think the inability to discuss the main bill is arbitrary, and I'm not going to support that at all. I don't know if anybody has Communication 745.32 in front of them, but that was not part of the original motion to refer this to the Planning Commission, and I find that to be a problem since these are 2 years of complaints that we've been getting from the public. So I will not be supporting this postponement, and at this point I will also not be supporting Bill 25 before the refusal to have a discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, would you reconsider allowing her to speak on this? I just feel that this is something that's been going on. She's been involved, and I just think it wouldn't hurt to have a little understand where she's coming from. I do appreciate that you want to spend more time. I have no problem with the postponement, but I would just ask that you withdraw your motion to postpone just to allow for any comment.
Point of inquiry?
Yes.
Yes.
Could you clarify the motion on when the postponement will be? Is it by Did you clarify the motion again?
I did. The motion to postpone would be no later than the next Kona meeting.
Mahalo.
Thank you. Well, I just feel at this point in time that we had talked about at the last meeting, we had a lot of discussion about this, a lot of back and forth. One of the concerns was that we would be able to make amendments to it prior to sending it to the commissions. I feel that without having the amendments up here, it's just going to be a lot of discussion that it's not going to have the merit. I'm going to be getting told that I'm not listening to the community, I'm not taking into consideration, and I feel at this point in time, until I can bring those amendments forward, it's going to be pointless discussion. I'd like to have the amendments here that we would then be voting on, and everybody else would be able to bring in their amendments. We could actually have a discussion on that, save the time, and then send it to the commissions for their recommend, their recommendations. But I'd like to send it to them with a round of amendments so we can craft this bill how we wanted to. That was my whole point of doing this in the first place. But I think to have more discussion at this point in time isn't necessarily going to do any good. That's why I'm not really feeling in the mood to do that.
I would just like, in terms of our working together, I think it's helpful to allow for a few minutes to just make any comments that might also assist you in terms of what you're working on. So working together, I think it's helpful to allow for a few minutes to just make any comments that might also assist you in terms of what you're working on. So I would like to hear what Ms. Ford has to say and not be confined in terms of the sunset rule. I definitely support all your efforts, and I really appreciate that you're moving this forward, but I would like to hear what she has to say.
Great.
Are you agreeable to that?
No.
Okay. Okie dokie. And, moving, Madam, take the vote.
On the postponement.
And what?
On the postponement.
On the postponement.
On the postponement.
Thank you, Chairman. On the motion to postpone to the next Kona meeting, for clarification, is February 19th. Ms. Iop.
Aye.
Ms. Ford.
No.
Mr. Ilagan.
Aye.
Mr. Kanuha.
Honolulu.
Mr. Onishi. Mr. Yoshimoto. Mr. Kern.
Aye.
Chair Willie.
Aye.
Mr. Kanuha.
Aye.
Chair Willie, you have 7 ayes.
Can we, I move to adjourn.
Second.
Aye. Any opposed?
Wait. Call for how many no votes?
Call for how many no votes?
No.
We're adjourned.
Adjourn.
Drama.